Welcome to 15 Minutes of Mental Toughness. I am your host, Dr. Rob Bell. I have a newsletter coming out pretty soon. This newsletter, I've watched dozens and dozens of mental toughness documentaries, and I've got a list coming out, top 10 mental toughness documentaries. Our guest today is on that list because of one of the documentaries, which is titled The Ultimate Triathlon. We'll talk about that today. Now, the Ultimate Triathlon. So it's 2,000 kilometers. This is from Morocco to Monaco. For the non-metric, it's about 1,200 miles across 12 days. You're gonna watch this documentary because it's absolutely fantastic. It's the epitome of mental toughness in many different angles, which I hope to explore here. Also, though, our guest has been on the top 50 fittest athletes in the world in 2016. Reason why is because on top of the Ultimate Triathlon, completed a marathon disabled. It's pretty simple ultra, really, because it's a 6-day trek, 250 kilometer across the Sahara Desert. On top of that one, has run down Mt Everest, and one of my favorite ones is he's run through a tropical rainforest in China with no supplies and with a plane to catch. It kind of sounds like a video game that we could actually play. This is a past professional soccer player, and this guest has also openly discussed his battle with depression. Our guest today, I think he puts the in endurance. This is Luke Tyburski. Luke, thank you for joining us.
Oh mate, what an intro! That's fantastic. I want to play that video game, and I want to watch that documentary. You built it up massively. Thanks very much.
Well, that's how impressed I am by it, man. Let's start with this. So, 15 minutes of mental toughness. Talk about your mental toughness and teach us what is mental toughness.
So mental toughness to me, if I have to sort of put it into a sentence to start with, it would be the mind's ability to stay focused. That's fantastic. I want to play that video game, and I want to watch that documentary. You built it up massively. Thanks very much. But in reality, it's using your mind to help you overcome obstacles and adapt to setbacks to achieve your goal. That's the best way for me to sum it up as well. So mental toughness to me,
in terms
if
of
I
the
have to
Ultimate
sort
Triathlon,
of
there are many
put it
facets
into
of
a
mental
sentence
that I found
to start with, it would
that
be
came out of this.
the mind's ability to
Number
stay
one,
focused
I think the first
and
thing
endure
is
in
2
order to
days
progress.
before this race starts. You've
So
prepped
that would
4
be
years
a
for
very
this
sort of
race.
blanket statement.
2 days
But in reality,
before the race starts, there was a
using
major
your mind
change
to
in
help
the
you
overall
overcome
plan.
obstacles and adapt to
Now, with
setbacks
most professional
to
athletes,
achieve
they
your
are
goal.
obsessive to
That's
a degree.
the best way for me to sum it
And
up as
how,
well.
tell us about that adversity and how you overcame that one.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is the change in the swim. So for 4 years, I created this event, the Ultimate Triathlon from Morocco to Monaco, where I was to swim, and this just sounds ludicrous, I did it over 2 years ago. I was going to swim from Africa to Spain. Like, no matter how you put it, it's crazy. From Morocco to Spain. What you're talking about is 4 years of playing this. The change in the swim. I've spoken to a boat so for 4 years, I created this event, drive the boat next the Ultimate Triathlon from Morocco to Monaco, where I was to swim. And this just sounds ludicrous. I did it over 2 years ago. I was going to swim from Africa to Spain, over to Morocco. No matter how you put it, go over. It's crazy. From Morocco to Spain, and then a whistle would blow. 4 years of playing this. And then 2 years I'd spoken to a boat pilot
20
who
kilometers.
was going to drive the boat next to me, so I went across safely. Spoken to him, emailed, on the phone a couple of times, and then we get down to the most southern point in Spain where we're based. And then the plan was, which we'd spoken about for 2 years, 45-minute trip over to Morocco. I would jump in the water, go over, touch Africa, put my hand on that continent, so you want to swim, and then a whistle would blow, Spain. And then I would just swim back to Spain. We've been speaking about and 2 years. Yeah, that was the plan. 20 kilometers. It's going to be more difficult. And I said,
the things that I always go to plan.
I understand this.
And then what happened was 2 days before we had a briefing with the boat, with the pilot, with my crew.
This is the catch.
Four of them.
I'd been training.
That was it.
To
That's
swim
all I had.
around 20 kilometers, give or take.
And the guy said to me, "So you want to swim from Morocco to Spain?" And I said, "Yeah, exactly what we've been speaking about for 2 years."
Now,
and he said it's going to be more difficult. And I said, yes, I understand this. We've spoken about that. And he said it's also going to be potentially twice the distance.
And I've forgotten the main
this is the catch, because I've been training to swim around 20 kilometers, give or take with the currents.
Yeah.
So here I am.
But then he's talking about 35 to 40 kilometers. I'm not physically trained for that.
You've seen the documentary. What
Now,
it meant to me.
this is where the mental toughness comes in. As you said, professional athletes, I've been there. If I turn up to a game as a professional soccer player
like a switch
and I've forgotten
in my head
main pair of soccer cleats that I want to wear, and I have to wear my secondary ones, that's going to mentally upset me. So here I am, something that years I've been planning for, and I have to do it the other way.
So straight away.
Now, I'm not going to lie, you'll see in the documentary what it meant to me. I got quite emotional.
Which is part of mental toughness.
Not so much when we're having a discussion with the boat pilot, because literally like a switch just flicked in my head.
That the distance
I said, okay,
twice as much.
And this happened within seconds.
On the things that I could control. Right there and then.
I can't argue with this guy.
I have to focus on
because the distance is going to be twice the distance, and I can't change that.
Was around
so straight away.
That's what I'd train
because I can choose my attitude. No one else. I know I have control of my attitude.
To make that
decision
toughness to swim
straight away.
I didn't focus on the things
that
and then
I couldn't control.
I had this documentary
so I couldn't control that the distance was going to be twice as much. I focused on the things that I could control. Right there and then,
they literally
I had to focus on to swim from Spain
to
Morocco was around the 20-kilometer mark.
30 seconds.
That's what I trained for. That's what I had to focus on, and that was in my control to make that decision to swim the opposite way.
But the point
so I got through the meeting at the briefing, and then we went outside, and because I had this documentary made, everyone said, set the camera up in the alleyway, which is quite literally what you saw, and they literally hit record and stepped away.
And we have to discuss.
All I did for about, honestly, there's about 30 seconds in the documentary, but it was about 15 minutes. I just let all my emotions come out,
which is the
of
first
how it made me feel.
My initial sentence.
But the point I'm trying to make is
what we need to do
when we
to
get
achieve
hit
our
with
goals,
setbacks,
that's what got me through that.
Whether they come from left field or whether we even know they may happen,
on top of that,
we don't even know
I believe
they
that
could
champions
happen.
adjust. One of the things that
we
struck me so much,
on the things
that
we
what
can
you were
control.
trying to do,
and we have to
by itself very, very
things
difficult.
that
You had
we
a
can't
team that was
control.
with you, did an amazing
And I think
job.
having the
couple of the pieces, what I thought,
the ability
kind of
to stay
back and
focused,
forth.
which is the first part of
There were a couple
of
of times they sent you off in the wrong direction.
To stay focused.
There was a time where, and
to
there's
achieve
nothing
our
against
goals.
team, but this is
That's
life.
what
Like
got me
these
through
things
that point.
happen. You went off in the wrong direction. I know how I would have reacted. There were a couple of times where the team, gets stuck in traffic. They're 30 minutes behind you when you're completely done for that day. Food checkpoints and these roadblocks and even the direction we're going to go in. Me and my wife were talking like, don't you think they would have had that stuff? Like, we get stressed out from watching it. Talk to us. How did you make those adjustments when these things start to go wrong? And maybe it's the same exact thing, but I was hoping you could talk about that.
Yeah, so things like the crew setting me off in wrong directions, the radio not working. There was one stage where the only time in the whole adventure, really, that you could see that I was upset was there was this one time when the sun went down and I was expecting to see them in an hour. So
things like the crew setting me off in wrong directions, the radio not working.
And all they gave me was some food.
There was one stage where the only time in the whole film, the only time in the whole adventure,
and the lights
really,
on my bike,
that
fine, but
you could see that I was upset was there was this one time when the sun went down. And I was expecting to see them in an hour. So I can cycle for an hour by myself. I've got plenty of food and whatever.
My own jacket.
But they didn't give me a jacket. And all they gave me was some food, and that was it. And they put a high-vis jacket on me, but just like a vest, and I had my short-sleeve cycling jersey on, and the lights on my bike, so that was fine. But I was expecting to see them up the road, put a warm jacket on, because when the sun went down, it got cool, and it got cold. So now, that one night people can say, well, I'm a grown man. You know, I'm 35, I should be able to ask for my own jacket. But part of the crew's job was to literally treat me as if I was an infant. For like 3 hours. They had to put food in my bag, they had to tell me to eat, they had to refill my drink bottles, and they had to say, cycle that road until you see us, and then we'll tell you where to go. Because my job is to swim, cycle, and run. Their job is to get me from Morocco to Monaco. So that one night when they didn't give me a jacket, and then because it was very difficult for them to park on this road, one straight stretch over this esplanade, I didn't see them for like 3 hours. And by the time I got to them, I was freezing cold.
Of course, man, drinking coffee.
Freezing cold. My teeth were chattering as I was cycling.
And I'm just like,
what really got under my skin, and you can tell by the documentary, there's not a whole lot that really gets under my skin and really gets the blood boil, which I'll touch on why in a second. I pull up to this area where they stopped. Lights, the hazard lights flashing in the van, and I pull in, and they all had these thick down jackets on.
You could see I was a little bit upset.
Yeah, because it's cold, and I come into like a shirt, and I'm just like, are you warm? And they're like, yeah, it's a bit cold, and I was like, where's my jacket?
So
yeah,
that's
and
as angry
I had some food then, but it was very quiet. And even my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, because she stuck with me throughout the Ultimate Triathlon, so I thought she's a keeper. But she came over to sort of console me because she could see I was a little bit upset. And I just gave her a look that wasn't a dirty look, but I just looked at her just as if to say, I'm okay, but just leave me alone. So that's about as angry as I get in everyday life. Not only when I've been cycling 300 kilometers and we're still 80 to go and I've not seen my crew for 3 hours and it's about 35 degrees. But the reason why I don't get upset, the reason why I don't yell and scream or whatever is, it's a waste of energy. I would rather, if I need to get that frustration out, I will put that into driving on the pedals if I'm cycling, or taking an extra stroke when I'm swimming, or focusing that energy where it's going to help me. Because if I yell at my crew, or if I just yell out and scream and act like a child, then it's not going to help anyone. And that comes down to having a very strong understanding that we all control our attitude.
Take a deep breath.
Not an external environment, not a scenario like this one that I was in, or the swim leg, not the weather, which is my favourite, living in the UK where there's only one season and it's always horrible and everyone complains about the weather. It's none of that. We control it. And it's very powerful if we know that we get to a situation and it's less than ideal and it's even potentially going to push us back.
Yes, excellent. Because I really think that you do a great job with the positivity all the way through.
Let's check this thing out. Look at the
positive, obviously being in control of your emotions.
Now, what
for
attitude am I
everyone
going to
that's going to be
choose
listening
that's
here,
going to
is this a mindset you have to have going into it? Because I just can't imagine that unless that's your overall approach, that hey, bad stuff's going to happen, I got to remain in control of my emotions.
That's what got me through, was actually knowing that I can choose my attitude to help me get to my end goal, and it was up to me to make the right choice.
Got to do the work prior.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually had a conversation with someone today about it. It's quite funny. It's perfect timing. And we were talking about the swim, and he had swum across different countries and islands before, so he's done open water swimming. And he said, "Did you get that feeling of I don't know what's underneath me?" So the water could be 3, 4, 5 miles
Yes, but you've got to do the work prior.
You can only see 10 foot
so
underneath you, but do you get that sense
I actually had a conversation with someone today about it.
Not when I was swimming.
It's quite funny. It's perfect timing.
4 years,
and we were talking about the swim,
thinking about,
and he had swum across different countries and no islands before, so he's done open water swimming, and he said, did you get that feeling of, I don't know what's underneath? So the water could be 3, 4, 5 miles deep, and you can only see 10 foot underneath you, but just get that sense of what is underneath you. And I went through this process, and I said, not at all. Not when I was swimming. Because I spent 4 years visualizing, thinking about everything that could go wrong. And, everything that could go wrong. And even to be morbid, like I visualized getting my leg bitten by a shark. And I visualized getting hit by a semi-trailer while cycling on my bike and still being conscious with my crew not around me. Like, these are the things that I visualized, and I went through this process of, what would I do
for 2 hours or 3 hours?
If I got bitten by a shark, I knew I had a boat next to me, so I'd make sure that they know that I was in distress.
Not that bad.
And I get my fingers ready to poke it in the eye, so I wouldn't come back for another bite. And it all sounds very funny, but this is how I prepared mentally, because I've done the mental when these setbacks came,
I think that's overall
I had this almost like this database stored in my head. Where it was like,
in the documentary,
okay, I'm a bit cold for 2 hours or 3 hours on the bike.
And
now I'm with my crew,
again, from watching him, and it seems like your
this is actually not that bad,
just completely
because I prepared for a lot worse.
Race.
So I don't need to waste that energy. So it's easier for me to choose that attitude.
When we watch
to help me move forward, because I've done the mental preparation before I even began.
But when's it going to happen? And rightly so, because it's got a torn hamstring here. This guy cannot put any weight on his leg. And you just keep moving. And you've talked about digging deep and thinking about other people who have helped you here and the people that you influence. Talk about that, how that motivates you, how that piece that no one gets there alone, kept you going.
So there's 2 ways that I want to answer this. So the first one is, and I'll get to the team in a second, it's very important, but to be able to overcome the obstacles like a muscle tear, I strained my hamstring, but then that led to the quadricep tear, which is, I think you're talking about on the run.
Sorry.
So my quadricep was tearing badly, the junction where all 4 of the muscles sort of meet. So there's 2 ways that I want to answer this. So the first one is
so painful,
and I'll get to the team in a second because it's very important.
But
to be able to overcome the obstacles like a muscle tear, I strained my hamstring, but then that led to the quadricep tear, which is, I think you're talking about on the run. So my quadricep was tearing badly, the junction where all 4 of the muscles sort of meet.
Start a business.
Now,
become an entrepreneur.
I was horrible. It was so painful. But
a new role.
Where I want to start with this answer before I get into what it's like with the team and the people that have helped supported this is
why you want to invest time.
You've got to know why you're doing this. And this is for everything in life. Whether you want to run a 10K, a marathon, do an Ironman triathlon, or start a business, or become an entrepreneur, or go for that new job at work, go for a new role that's came up that you want to apply for. You have to know why you're doing what you want to do, why you want to invest time, energy, money, and sacrifice other things to achieve what you want to achieve.
I'll be honest.
And you have to have clarity in that why. And I always think of it as there's 2 levels of knowing your why. And I'm massive on knowing your why. There's the superficial and the deep-rooted. Now the superficial one is just sort of something that sort of skims the surface. For me, it was for the ultimate triathlon. When everything's going wrong,
I want to see
what I'm physically capable of and mentally capable of. So it's a bit more ego-driven. I'll be honest. I did a thing that no one's ever done before. I had a documentary made about it. I would be completely lying if I said it wasn't slightly ego-driven.
In my head was the fact
that's the superficial one.
I have an opportunity
here. The deep-rooted why is, and this is the thing that will get you through when you're in the trenches, when everything's going wrong. When you've torn your quadricep, you've still got 500 kilometers to get to Monaco to achieve your goal. This is the thing that's really going to push you forward. And the reason why I kept going, and the thing that kept
really ringing true in my head was the fact that I have an opportunity here to keep taking one step forward. And as long as I keep taking one step, I'm going to get to the end goal of Monaco. Now, having a documentary made, having this streamed on social media and being very active on social media with my team throughout this, I knew people were watching.
But I said
and
to
I
myself,
thought, if I give up now, all my fans and all the people that don't watch this are going to go, well, he gave it all, but then he gave up. I wanted to see what I was truly capable of, because I wanted to inspire others and open their mind up to show them that we're all capable of more than we believe. Like, if I quit right then and there, no one would say anything negative about it. It was that he gave it his all. But I said to myself, you've got a torn quadricep. What if you just keep taking one more step where you get to the end? And I did. I kept taking one more step until I was forced to actually completely adapt and change what I needed to do to get to the end result. And that's a whole other story. So knowing your why and being really clear, and that initial, oh, I want to do this, I want to run a marathon because all my friends in the office are doing it, and yeah, great, who will tell you what you need to know. So I want your listeners to actually go, okay, why I'm doing this. And the first reason that you come up with is normally just a superficial one, but dig deeper and get into that deep-rooted one, because that's what's going to help you. And then the second part to this question was the team.
A husband and
There's
wife,
no way that I could do
co-founders
this
of
by
33
myself.
Shake, the sports nutrition company
And
that's
it's
sponsored
about
mine.
surrounding yourself with
And
like-minded
also my
people,
girlfriend at the time, now wife,
and
who
people
was an
who will
osteopath,
tell you what you
and she was my
need to
medical
know,
team. So
not
that
what
was my
you
crew,
want
4
to
people.
know. And that's
we
very
had meetings
important.
to say
And
that
we had several meetings together with my crew.
The goal is to get me from Morocco
just to be
Monaco.
clear, my crew was
And
the
Jay,
filmmaker,
from Physique
one
Media,
guy
he
who
had to
created the
capture
whole
it all.
film and
So
did
I
it
even
all.
said to him, look, if I get hit by
A husband and wife
grab the
who
camera,
co-founders
get 5
of
seconds
33
of
Shake,
footage,
the
put the
sports
camera
nutrition
down while
company
still
that's a
rolling,
sponsor of mine.
and then come and put my
And
skull
also
back on.
my girlfriend at the time, now wife,
this
who
is
was
another
an
opportunity to
osteopath,
show people
and she was my medical team.
what we're
So
capable
that
of.
was my crew,
You know,
4
and
people.
it was an opportunity
Now,
for me
we had meetings
to
to say
actually
that,
give people
right, the
almost
goal is
like
to get me
this
from Morocco to
documentary, this
Monaco,
actual movie
and
of
Jay,
this
the
is
filmmaker
real,
from
this is
Physique
real life,
Media,
it's not
he had to
Hollywood.
capture
So
it
you
all.
can see what
So I
actually
even
real
said to
person
him,
is
look,
like.
if I get hit by a truck, and as I said, the team is
Grab
very
the camera,
important, because we
it
have
has to be
5
on the
seconds
same
of footage,
page,
put the camera down while
getting
still
from A to
rolling,
B,
and
i.e.
then come and
Morocco
put
to
my
Monaco.
skull back on.
And we
You know,
also
because
had to understand
this is
that
another
when I
opportunity to
got
show
hit with
people
setbacks, and
what
when
we're
things got
capable
really
of.
bad,
And it was an opportunity
couldn't
for
just
me
go,
to actually give
stop him
people
because we're all friends,
almost
and we
like
don't
this,
like to
like this
seem like
documentary, this
No.
actual movie
We had
of
to go, okay,
this is
how
real
do
and this
we
is real
get
life.
him
It's not
back
Hollywood,
on his
so I can see
feet
what actually a real
moving forward?
person is
So
like.
when I
And,
tore my quadricep,
and as I said, the team is very
you
important
don't
because we
see
had to
them
be on the same
going,
page, getting from
okay,
A to
I
B,
think this is
i.e.
enough, you
Morocco
should
to
stop.
Monaco.
You
And we
see
also had to
my-
understand that
my
when I
girlfriend
got hit
taping
with
up my leg,
setbacks and when
you
things
see
got
the rest
really
of the crew,
bad,
you need food, you need
we
whatever.
couldn't
okay,
just
keep
go,
walking, doing good
okay,
job,
which is
because we knew the goal
we're
was
all
to get
friends
from
of
Morocco
Luke
to
and we
Monaco
don't like to seem like
however
this.
we could.
No, we had to go, okay, how do
You know,
we
one of
get
the
him
things I
back
always say is your
on his
why has
feet
to make you
moving
cry. If
forward?
it doesn't,
So when I
it's-
tore my
it's not your why,
quadricep,
it's not deep enough.
you don't see them
I like
going,
that.
Look, if
okay,
you wanna
I
borrow
think
it,
this
man,
is
you
enough,
can
you
borrow
should stop.
I'm going to borrow
You
I'll
see
credit you,
my-
but I'm definitely gonna
My
borrow
girlfriend
Because
taping
I'm going to
up
borrow
my
the
leg.
deep-rooted
You
part.
see the rest of the
For
crew,
sure.
do you need
Oh,
food,
it's so
do you need whatever,
fantastic.
okay, just keep walking, doing a good job.
One of the
Because we
pieces
knew
we
the
talk
goal
about
was
here
to
on the
get from
podcast
Morocco to
is
Monaco
hinge
however
moments.
we could.
And every door has a hinge. Hinge is that one person, that one decision, or one moment that makes all the difference in our lives. And since we can't connect the dots
I like
looking
that.
forward in life, we can only connect them looking backwards. What's a hinge moment in your
Oh,
life?
I'm going to borrow it. I'll credit you, but I'm definitely going to borrow it.
Doors in my
Oh,
life,
of course.
mate. I think one of the biggest ones, because we're talking about the ultimate triathlon, my 2,000 kilometre in 12-day swim, bike and run from Morocco to Monaco, I think it should hinge around that, and pun intended.
Very nice.
It was when I first created it and I started to tell people. So when I created it, I did it by
I've got a lot of doors in my life, mate.
with nothing but adventure on my mind.
I think one of the biggest ones, because we're talking about the ultimate triathlon, my 2,000 kilometre in 12-day swim, bike and run from Morocco to Monaco, I think it should hinge around that, and pun intended.
I cycled on a mountain bike as a kid, but just as to get from A to B.
It was when I first created it and I started to tell people.
I could swim.
So when I created it, I did it by staring at a world map with nothing but adventure on my mind. Now, in saying this,
so with that as context,
I just retired from football, from soccer, and I hadn't ran more than 10 kilometers in one go.
Spain.
I didn't own a bike. I cycled on a mountain bike as a kid, but just as to get from A to B. And I could barely swim a length of a swimming pool. I could swim. Growing up in Australia, most kids learn how to swim, but to swim like 50 yards, I would be out of breath for half an hour before I could do it again. So with that as context, I saw the Strait of Gibraltar, which is between Africa and Europe and Spain. And then I saw the coast, southeast coast of Spain, which is, I thought I'm going to cycle that. And then I saw this gap between the next two countries, which is the south of France, before you got to Monaco. So I created this route, I did some research, and I found out it was 2,000 kilometers. And I just pulled some numbers out of my head. I think I can cycle 220 miles this day, 200 miles this day, and whatever. And I came up with 12 days. And I said, and the hinge moment was when I started to tell people. Now this is 4 years, and a couple of them said, before I completed it. I set myself a target of 4 years, and I spoke to professional triathletes, professional cyclists, marathon runners, elite marathon runners, Ironman triathletes, all these type of people. I said, do you think you could do it in 15 days? It can't be done. And they said, and I said, watch me. Like a few years to train. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do it in 12 days. To myself, and a couple of them said, okay, let me go away and figure it out. That I'm mentally and this is where the hinge moment came in front of me. Because I truly believe they said 15 days on this planet that's more mentally. We think you can do it in 15 days, but no less than that. I'm not saying I'm the most mentally tough person. And I said, do you think you could do it in 15 days to these athletes? And they said, from self-belief. Yeah, if I had like a few years to train, I think I could do it in 15 days. He believes he can do it. And I thought to myself, in 15 days, I believe that I'm mentally tougher than the person in front of me. And because I truly believe there's no one else on this planet that's more mentally tough than I am. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most mentally toughest person in the world. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I believe comes from self-belief that there's no one else more mentally tougher than I am. If it happened, it happened. And I thought, if he believes he can do this in 15 days, so right there and then what if I tried to do it in 12? And I just went, and what if I believed I could do it in 12? And what if I focused for 4 years be a turning point on all my training, on all my preparation, that for me to do this in 12 days? Time where I was quite low. Then what was possible? With depression, with injuries. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. Career, but I wanted to see if it was possible. So right there and then, I threw the door right open, cracked open the hinges. And I just went, right, I'm all in because they don't believe me. And I think a lot of hinge moments can be a turning point in life. All right, I believe I can do it. And that for me definitely was, because it was a time where I was quite low.
Wonderful, man.
I was battling with depression,
you touched upon
injuries
depression.
From ending my soccer career.
It's still, I think,
and I needed something to throw myself into.
Even though people say,
and I had this self-belief that I can do it in 12 days. I'm going to prove to people.
I know people that are listening to this.
I'm going to do it in 12 days because they don't believe me. And then I turn that external motivation into internal motivation to say, all right, I believe I can do it. I'm all in. Let's go after it. I battled for many years before I spoke about it with anyone. I had a girlfriend at the time. I didn't even speak to her. I lived in the UK. I lived in America. My parents were in Australia. Didn't speak about it with them. And I just kept it bottled up inside. One, because I didn't quite understand why I was feeling like this. I was a professional athlete. I was living the dream. It was a journey. You know, it was a journey. That 4-year-old boy. So I remember saying I battled for many years before I spoke about it with anyone. And I almost I had a girlfriend at the time. I didn't even speak to her because I lived in the UK. I lived in America. My parents were in Australia. Didn't speak about it with them. It's not right. And I just kept it bottled up inside. One, because I didn't quite understand why I was feeling like this. I was a professional athlete. I was living the dream.
It got worse and it got worse.
You know, as a 4-year-old boy, I remember saying, I want to play professional soccer. That was it, and I was living it.
I wasn't there.
And I almost felt like I shouldn't feel like life because my life is amazing.
I was locking myself away in my bedroom.
I had to justify it to myself, and it's not right. Like because you feel how you feel.
In reality,
and sometimes you can't help that. So I went for years without talking about it, and it got worse and it got worse and it got worse to a point where I thought, okay, I'm not ready to talk about it with people I know.
So I actually went to see.
I wasn't there in my journey, but I wasn't living life, and that was the big thing.
I can be whoever I want there.
I was locking myself away in my bedroom. I was lying about my whereabouts. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm out going for a walk. In reality, I'm in my bedroom still. Oh yeah, no, I'm going to have a meeting with a client or meeting with a friend. No, I'm just there by myself.
I felt little. I felt weak.
That's not right. That's not living.
I felt all these things.
So I actually went to see a therapist and a psychotherapist that I didn't even know because I thought I can be whoever I want there.
They started to be
and taking that first step, it was hard.
I'm very much.
I probably cancelled 3 or 4 sessions before I actually went. It probably took me 6 months to pick up the phone to make that call. I felt ashamed.
Give me the plans.
I felt little. I felt weak.
Like that, and then I'm going to go and have my own.
I felt all these things.
So after I did some psychotherapy for myself, and I got some
when I got into that room and actually started to talk. They started to be removed.
Over time, I realized actually.
And then over time, I'm very much a person where teach me to do something, and then let me sort of figure it out
because
for
myself,
I know
they could help me,
and let me sort of put my own twist on.
My best friends.
Give me the plans, show me how the plans work with the key and everything like that, and then I'm going to go and have my own play with it. So after I did some psychotherapy for myself, and I got some tools with that, I went away and practiced that myself.
Hey Daryl, can we have a chat sometime?
And then over time, I realized actually,
called him on the phone. Can I call you?
I don't feel
chat. And he's like, yeah. We didn't even
because I want to actually talk to people
but I made that connection with
because I know that they can help me.
Can we just
so I literally chose one of my best friends.
Why?
And initially it wasn't. Oh, and then there's Daryl, by the way, I've got when I was feeling down, and I feel pretty crappy at times. It wasn't like that. It was just
on the television or
hey
Daryl,
let's meet up.
Can we have a chat for dinner one night?
Or yeah, sure. Went and had a coffee. And then just called him on the phone. Can I call you sometime just to have a chat? And he's like, yeah. We didn't even talk about depression. But I made that connection with a close friend that can we just chat?
Down on me, and
he didn't ask why. He just said, yeah, because we were really close friends. And then there's regular conversations, or when I was feeling down, I'd give him a call and we would talk about, you know, the soccer on the television, or let's meet up and go somewhere for dinner one night, or just anything.
Now,
and then once I started to talk to close friends,
publicly,
I started to talk to my family about it. And the thing that really stopped me was because I thought that they would look down on me, and I thought that they would be negative towards me. The complete opposite happened.
It does make me feel better.
Embraced it. They opened their arms up. They gave me a hug, virtually and literally.
Things get down.
It's okay. We're so proud of you that you actually can talk to us.
I acknowledge it.
Now, it went years before I became, like I spoke about it publicly, but it was still my journey, and I felt this weight was lifted off
a little bit less hectic.
And the other thing that I really want to focus on now is when I start to talk about it,
things aren't going the way
it does make me feel better and it lifts this weight off my shoulders. But now when I have a depressive state or when things get down, and then just I don't try and fight it. Whereas before
let's see.
I acknowledge it.
Can't move on while I'm still here.
You're here.
That's been really beneficial.
We're not going to fight.
Wow, that's
I'm going to see what I can do in my day. Can I restructure it to make it a little bit less hectic, a little bit overwhelmed? That's a trigger for me.
What's one piece of information about
and I become overwhelmed,
even though we've run the game,
things aren't going the way that I'd hoped.
That you want to share with people that,
and I'll just let it come in, and I'll acknowledge it. I won't fight it. And then just say, okay, let's walk together and let's see if you just can't move on while I'm still here. And that's been really beneficial for me.
Failing and failure as a positive, and lean into it. Don't lean away from it. But the key is, when we fail or when we don't achieve what we actually set out to achieve, know that we all have a secret tool in our toolbox, and that's the power of
one thing we haven't touched on
because if we fail,
I want people to look at failing and failure as a positive and lean into it. Don't lean away from reflection. But the key is another opportunity when we fail or when we don't achieve what we actually set out to achieve, know that we all have a secret tool in our toolbox, and that's the power of reflection. Because if we fail and we reflect on that failure, then we gain knowledge. And then we can use that knowledge through the reflection with hard work to give ourselves another opportunity to succeed. You can go again to try and achieve it. So I want the listeners to don't worry about if what you want to achieve is really tough and you may fail. And because there's no negative to failing. Because if you don't fail, you achieve your goal. Boom, that's winning. If you do fail, you reflect on it, you gain knowledge.
You have a YouTube clip on that. I'll have
and then
you're more, put that in there
you have more insight.
One of the things I like to share
is you can go
is
again to try and achieve it. And if you fail again, you've progressed because you've gained that knowledge.
Fantastic, man.
So I want your listeners
where can people follow you, learn more about you? I'll
obviously
put the links in the podcast.
And don't look at failure as a negative, but look at it as an opportunity to achieve, learn, and gain knowledge to move closer to the goals that you want to achieve in life.
But if you know how to spell it, you put it into Google. I pop up everywhere. The film is on my website as well. You can just Google The Ultimate Triathlon. It's on Amazon Prime. And I'm Luke Tyburski on all social media. I'm very active. I like to put in content that's insightful, that gives value.
So my centre hub is luketyburski.com. Just look at the links. It's a long name, so it's difficult to spell. But if you know how to spell it, you put it into Google. I pop up everywhere. The film is on my website as well. You can just Google The Ultimate Triathlon. It's on Amazon Prime. And I'm Luke Tyburski on all social media. I'm very active. I like to put in content that's insightful, that gives value. I would say 90 to 95% of the content I put on will make you think, will give you value, will give you something to go away with.
Cheers, mate.
I'll put a
so awesome.
photo
Thank you so
of
much.
running shoes on there. But
it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you
most
very
of the
much
time, it gives you value, and that's what I'm all about. Because my life philosophy, and I believe everyone should have a life philosophy, is to learn daily and teach others what life has taught me. So if you go to Luke Tyburski on all social media, I hope that what life has taught me, I can pass on all that knowledge to you and help everyone achieve your own goals in life. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you for listening to the Mental Toughness Podcast. If you like what you heard today, please be sure to subscribe to our podcast. You can also check us out on Twitter at Dr. Rob Bell or visit our website at drrobbell.com.